everybody.
Welcome back.
How you been?
Busy.
Yeah. You still have you been tested?
No. God, so I know so much more about the testing now, and I'm so
Yeah.
glad they didn't implement like mass testing because now I don't want to get tested ever.
Well, because did you not know they jam a thing so far back in your
I didn't
sinuses?
know what it was. I always thought it was just like, oh, a nasal swab, like no big deal. I didn't realize it was a
No, they gotta
nasopharyngeal
get
swab,
deep.
which is how like I've never had one of those before, so I guess I'd seen the term and I was like, yeah, whatever, just nasal swab, like no big deal.
No, I had read about that early on because I was curious whenever Donald Trump said he had been tested, and
Do you
then they
not think
were
he has been?
no. There's absolutely no way because the day after someone failed to brief this man on what the test was, and that's how I know what the test is because the day after he claimed he'd been tested, he's doing these daily press briefings. They asked him, "So you got tested? What was it like?" He's like, "Yeah, it's a test. Test. It's not pleasant, but it's a test.
I
No
peed
test,
in
no
a
pleasant."
bottle, and it came out
Yeah,
negative. You know?
like I wish someone had a follow up. Like, so exactly what happened because you could tell no one briefed the man to tell him what the test was like that he supposedly had taken. Because I looked up afterwards and I was like, oh no. There's no way he would have been that calm if he had the damn thing shoved that far back in his damn sinuses.
You know what's so funny is we've had so many employees and patients tested at this point at my hospital that I've never heard even those who have been tested that I like my colleagues that have been tested that I know about. Nobody's ever talked about how bad the test was. So either maybe it's not as bad as I think it is now that I know what it is, or maybe they just understood it more and think that
Right,
everybody
they knew what
knows
they were
it
gonna
is.
get, so
Like,
they
there's just so many people who are like, oh no, I tested negative, so nope, it's no big deal. Or we just had some recent people who have tested positive that I work relatively closely with, and I'm just like, oh, they never talked about how bad the test was or anxiety about getting tested or anything like that. Like I have anxiety about getting tested if I would have to get tested, just because. And I don't know, maybe it's one of those things like if you have to draw my blood, that doesn't bother me one bit. Like we were actually talking about some of the people that we need to prepare for our stand-up emergency department. I was talking about like where we have a new emergency department built just in case we have like a big surge of patients, which it's the numbers don't look like we have it right now, but New York makes us think we're going to have it very soon. They're talking about like these people who aren't emergency department prepared, and do they have IV therapy or phlebotomy come and do all their blood draws? And all the leadership is like, no, we will teach them how to draw blood because if this thing really gets that bad, they need to know how to draw blood because there's going to be that many more people coming in that they need to deal with. And I'm even thinking in my mind, I'm like, I'll go there and be like the guinea pig, the cushion for them to go like practice blood draws with, because that doesn't bother me. Yeah, needles suck, whatever, it hurts, it doesn't feel good, but I've let multiple people practice doing IVs on me and practice blood draws on me. I remember one day we were super bored in the emergency department, which is not an often thing that you would say. But me and one of the guys that I worked with in the ER at the time, there was two brand new doctors. They had just started their emergency department residency, and they really wanted to sit with us and like, they wanted us to teach them how to do blood draws. And we literally didn't have a patient for 2 hours, which is unheard of in the ER. It was like on different times of something, we don't know. And we both just said, oh, what the hell, let's get some stuff together. You guys can go practice on us. And we sat in the chair, and the doctors looked at us like we were fucking insane. And they both tried, and both failed miserably. And eventually, like, got it, but we were pincushions for them. Ow.
I mean, it's better that you let them fell on you than patients, I guess. So your hospital's looking competent.
Dude, I was just standing on top of our pyramid. Like, not the pyramid, but like the beam, the beacon down here.
Yeah.
Talking to the world, not even looking around because I didn't think anything was wrong. A creeper just came up and blew up part of the thing. Like, we don't have a working beacon anymore because we don't have enough blocks.
You know what's interesting about that is I can still see the beacon in the sky from here.
Yeah, well, the beacon, it's still running, but there's 3 blocks missing. I guess it's like the lower tier, so the upper tier is still running.
Okay.
So is it?
I was about to say, I guess it doesn't render this far.
Regeneration. I don't remember how to tell if these beacons work or not. We're 3 iron blocks short right now, though. I need to go get.
Wow, way to ruin stuff, Jeff.
Sorry, but yeah. So it's one of those things where it's like, you talk about blood draws, and I know some people are freaked out about blood and freaked out about needles. they would never think, like, they see a sharp object and they, like, faint because it's just, that's where their anxiety is ridden.
Right.
That stuff doesn't bother me, but you talk about shoving something back in my nose like that, and I'm like, nope. Nope. It's like catheters. Catheters are one thing that I've had in my life before as a child, and remember to this day how terrible it was. And though I've placed and dealt with so many patients with the catheter in, like a Foley catheter, that didn't seem to think that it was even that big of a deal for days on end. Dudes with catheters walking around with them, not even thinking it's painful. And it still freaks me the hell out because I had a very terrible experience with it in the past.
Maybe they were into sounding.
I mean, it's possible, but I'm pretty confident that if every patient I've ever seen with a Foley catheter is into sounding, like, there's a new normal that needs to be established here.
Are you saying that someone's kink is abnormal, Jeff?
No, I'm saying if they have that kink, there's that many people with that kink, it's not abnormal kink. That it's the normal.
No kinks
and the people
should be
without
considered
it,
abnormal.
The people
Jeff.
without it would
kink
be considered
shaming?
abnormal. I'm doing the opposite of kink shaming. You're not even listening. You just want to think that I'm kink shaming. You're like one of those people who's like, I'm determined that you're cheating on me, no matter what you say.
Yeah, right.
And they'll be like, no, you can go have sex with whoever you want. I wouldn't even care. You're shaming me. Yeah, there's that many of you. Have you ever had?
I've never had a catheter. No, I've tried sounding.
And
it wasn't pleasurable. It didn't hurt though, but I mean, I didn't like try to yam it.
What did you use? Yeah, what'd you use for it?
A sounding needle. Like they sell like
there's special needles for it.
Yeah, like
this is where it's so outside of a kink of mine that I didn't even know that there was special.
It wasn't a kink of mine either, but I was like, if people are like doing this, like, what's it like? I've tried to massage my prostate before too, and I can't successfully have an orgasm doing that either.
So wait, define sounding to me then, because maybe I'm not understanding. Well, the fact
so
that
it's
the fact that you say sounding needle, I think I am thinking the right thing. Because
like a sounding needle, it almost looks like
massaging prostate and sounding, from what I understand, are two completely different.
They are right, two different holes completely. But both of them are jamming something up in there.
That's like saying I tried to swallow something once too, but yeah, it just wasn't the same as like sounding.
Right. So like a sounding needle, it kind of looks like a chopstick, except it gradually gets bigger. And it's got like different gauges on it, kind of like, people like stretch their ears or whatever. There's like different like rings around it that show you like, all right, I can sound it that this width or whatever, because like it gets wider as you go up the needle. Basically, needle's probably not the right word because that makes it sound like it's sharp, because it's not sharp at the end. It just gets small.
Needle does make it feel like it's sharp, but I was kind of hoping it was not.
No, it's definitely not sharp. It's just like I said, the best way I know to describe it is like a chopstick, except the end is smaller than a chopstick.
So you're saying it didn't hurt?
I mean, like I said, I didn't force it beyond the point where like it didn't feel good.
Was there like markings on? Was there markings on it? Because I want to know how much you forced.
There were markings, but this has been a long time. This has been like 5 or 6 years.
Are you saying like half the chopstick in, it just didn't feel good, so I stopped? Or are you saying like the tip barely penetrated? And I was like,
oh no, I got pretty deep in there. I got probably I'd say 4 inches in.
Oh my god, because like it's giving me the shit.
Well, I wasn't the one in control of the needle, but
that's even worse. That's so even worse. Like I don't know. Maybe it's just me because I remember being. Probably I was in my late teens or very early 20s, and I came across like a first porn. This is still back when like there wasn't a porn site you could just go to and get all the free porn that you wanted. It was, you were mainly downloading porn clips and stuff from, peer-to-peer sharing networks versus, because everything was like a paid site online.
Right.
I remember downloading a bunch of porn when coincidentally I had moved from my hometown in Michigan to in the district area. Actually, it was more Virginia, but when I was doing co-oping, and I did my co-op out here, but I still lived at home. So all my friends and family were back in Michigan. So I didn't have anything else to do. So I started downloading like a lot of porn and like experimenting with a lot of stuff like that. And I remember coming across a guy who stuck his fingers in his You know,
Yeah, like I mean, you
as
could stretch it that far,
well,
basically. Like
as a nurse, I honestly don't even know what is the fucking medical term for it. Like pee hole, like that's what I want to call it. Like the urethra, like but
urethra.
it's not all the way up the urethra, is it? I guess all the way to the end of the penis, it would be the urethra, right?
I think so. That's
Yeah,
my understanding. I mean, I
guess
don't
it
fucking
is. It's
know,
just,
but I mean, I think
I
so.
never think about it as being like that all the way to the end. Like I guess I don't know. In my mind, the urethra is connected to the bladder, and I don't think the bladder have connected all the way to the end, but it truly is. I mean, it's just a tube, you know, like goes from one to the other. So I guess he stuck his fingers in his urethra and he like stretched it open, and I was intrigued at first because I was like, whoa, like this is something I didn't know about that is pleasureful. I remember trying to even like, not a full finger, but even just trying to like play with the hole a little bit. And it was so sensitive and so painful to me that I just can like, it makes my toes like move back and forth on each other as in like it's the worst type of thought process in my life that I can think of. Maybe it's because I've had that Foley before though, and I knew how bad that hurt as a child. And maybe I'm just super sensitive in that area because, like I said, I've placed many Foldies, and a lot of people are just like don't even have like a reaction from it. It like doesn't hurt them that bad.
I remember like as it went in further, it started like popping. It was like a popping sound. I think that was like cartilage or something
wrong.
It didn't hurt though. Like it got to the point where like
when I hear weird noises, as long as it doesn't hurt, just keep on fucking pushing. Like
I mean, I was still waiting again for like any sensation, you know, like because I mean, you know, sometimes extreme pain in a sexual situation can be okay, depending on you know
depending on
who you are
into, sure, and what the pain is from.
But I don't know. This didn't do anything for me in a positive or negative way. It was just I got this fucking chopstick in my dick now, and I'm not ready to eat sushi.
Wow,
basically,
like I don't know if I've ever heard of somebody who tried something like that and was just like, it was neither here nor there. Like no big deal. Let's just move on. I remember
I've tried a lot of things.
I'm not against anybody trying anything that they want to try. I remember dating a girl who was super, super, super into anything anal. And she actually preferred anal sex. So I think I've talked about her before. She preferred anal sex over vaginal sex, which is weird to me, but she did. Like, she absolutely did. But she also was so into trying to do anal things with me. She was, like, super addicted to, like, doing anything. And I let her play, and there's some parts of doing things back there that I enjoy. Like, that's when you said, try to give yourself a prostate exam. All right, I've had
not exam.
a prostate massage. Excuse me.
Right.
You know, I've had some fingers being like shoved deep up there in a sexual way that was like, wow. Like some of it made me like orgasm super hard. Sometimes it was just like, oh, I'm not feeling this today, you know, type of deal. So I'm all about that. But I remember she was so determined. She bought anal beads that she just loved to basically. One end to the other was like inside of her, like the first instant she got, and she didn't think it was like large enough. And she was determined to play with them with me. And it was like one ball deep, and I was like, nope, nope, nope. And by the way, I don't mean like, you know, testicle ball. Anal beads were.
Yeah, no, they're little, the first bead's tiny.
The first bead's tiny. Like, it was like one ball, maybe 2 balls deep, and I was like, oh, nope, nope, not something I like, not something I like. And she was like, oh, okay. And instead of like being a nice sexual partner and like removing it or trying, she just shoved as hard as she could to try to get as many in as she could because she decided that was her only chance. And it like made me scream and jump off the bed and like rip them out and like feel like I just shit myself because, you know, So that was like, that kind of ruined my my desire.
That's kind of bullshit though. Like she shouldn't have done that.
No, she shouldn't have. But she's a crazy person. She was a crazy person for many other reasons, which made her very fun sexually. But man, if you found something that she was into sexually that you weren't necessarily, crazy people can take it a little to the extreme and decide that, oh, if I like it, you must too. You just haven't had enough of a taste of it, you know, which is not the right way to go about things.
No, yeah, for sure. Like, yeah, people have to respect that not everyone's into this.
But I will tell you, no matter how hard she shoved those anal beads in my acid, the thought of doing something to the other orifice is way more like it's toe. Literally, toe clenching is the word I use as like I'm sitting here, my toes are like, I don't know. Do you have one of those reactions to something where you know something's gonna be bad that your body does like a visceral reaction in some way. Mine's the
Yeah.
toes, my big toe and little toe, like the toe next to it, are like moving back and forth on each other, thinking of like the pain, like that it would endure, or the past experience that I've had with it. It's like, that freaky like thing, and that's what's happening right now. Thinking of you and a chopstick in your penis, and it has nothing to do with like you specifically in a chopstick in your penis. Just
For me, it's like if I get like jump scared, my feet hurt. Like I get like a quick pain in my feet. I don't know if it's like
well, that's interesting.
like fight or flight. Like I need to be flying, like running.
Well, in
so my
theory,
feet hurt.
fight or flight should not include pain. Basically, your pain should kind of completely subside with all the adrenaline, because otherwise there's no flight reflex. If you know,
right? Yeah, no, but like jump scares, it makes my feet hurt. Like just for a second. It's not a long thing at all.
Oh,
it's like
it's
this
not a
quick,
long thing at
sharp
all. It
pain in
very
my
well
feet.
could be the surge of adrenaline and the surge of like catecholamines and stuff that are like surging through your body. It really could be that your body doesn't know how to handle the response at first, as it's a sudden increase, that it just kind of comes out in like foot pain for a moment and then goes back. I guess that's possible.
Huh. Yeah, I definitely have that.
Yeah, mine's not.
But yeah,
my toes rubbing together is not like a just for a second my toes rub together. It's no, I'm thinking about it and I almost like want to vomit, but it's my response as opposed to vomiting is to.
Wow. Yeah, no, I don't know. There wasn't anything that I've tried that was super awful, I guess. That I remember. I mean, like there are things I won't try. Like any kind of like water sports or scat or anything like that. I'm not into.
Yeah, scat.
Giving it a chance.
I was thinking when you said that, I'm like, water sports. It's like I don't know if I'd be like. I don't think it'd be anything at all that turned me on by any means, but I wouldn't have a problem with somebody, like maybe as long as it was in an environment where it was easy to clean up. Like I don't want some chick standing over
like in the
me
shower.
some chick standing over me while I'm laying in bed and just be like, I'm gonna pee all over you right now, and then we're gonna have like your bed and your sheets are gonna be just covered in piss. Like not into that. But if you did it in the shower because you were just experimenting, that wouldn't bother me like almost at all. Like I don't even think that would like gross me out at all. But if you decided to shit on me for some reason, that's just one of those things that I'm just like, I can't ever think of that in a sexual manner by any. I can't even really think of peeing in a sexual manner either, but I would like let it happen because I don't think that's a big deal.
See, I guess whenever I was saying I wasn't into water sports, I was more thinking that I'd be the one doing the peeing. I'm definitely not getting peed on.
I almost don't think that I could do the peeing, only because it's like the way your vas deferens and stuff works, the connection in the penis to the all the sperm and all that stuff. It's one tube. It's not like a tube that has two connections in it at all time. Like you can't pee and come at the same time. It's medically impossible. The tube, like,
are you saying like you'd be too hard?
Well, that's what I'm saying. If I was doing something in a sexual manner, like I think about it from the perspective of if I were to pee on you, that means I'm not aroused enough to be horny because the tubes are connected so that my urine is still coming through.
Right.
And haven't you ever like cummed or been super hard, but then had to really like had the urge to pee at the same time? And you ever seen the movie Me, Myself, and Irene?
No, we've had this conversation before, but no, I haven't.
But it's one of those things that like I can't imagine a situation where I would be in a super sexual like mood peeing on somebody, because it almost to me is like the opposite of
right.
Of that
I mean, I would be willing. I guess that's the thing. I'm not into water sports. I'd be willing to try to pee on someone if they were super into it and this is like their thing, and I was like into this person and stuff. I'd try, but I have a shy dick when it comes to like urinating. So like even like just like in a bathroom stall, if there's people around, I have a hard time peeing.
So that's so weird that you are so more than willing to shove a chopstick up your penis, but you can't pee at a urinal and like when somebody's next to you. Whereas I'm like I can go pee on your shoes if I want to, but you bring something close to my pee hole and I'm just like I'm gonna like punch you in the face.
Do you remember that Minecon Orlando where we were escorted everywhere, like in all the backstages, like everywhere we went, like
I
we were
do.
taken to the bathroom in a group before our panel.
I
You remember that
do. The
part?
first time I felt like I'm an amazing celebrity.
Well, I'll have you know, I had to pee so fucking bad. And all of us were in this bathroom together, and I had to pee just awfully bad. And I went to that panel still having to pee awfully bad because I stood in front of a urinal trying my damnedest to get it to come out. Just please leave my bladder. It wouldn't do it. So I just had to go to that panel having to pee.
That's
It's like it's like no amount of force, no amount of like I mean, like I try to like blank my mind out. Like there are occasions where there's just it's got to be something mental, but whatever it is, I can't overcome it.
well, clearly it's
Whenever,
something physical. It's just whether it's
well,
connected.
no, I think it's more mental than physical.
Well, whether it's
honestly.
connected by a mental problem or not, but the physical act of peeing is what you can't do. So
Well, sure, yeah, yeah, but like I think it's because something in my fucking brain won't let me. Um,
you ever seen the movie
yeah,
Waiting?
waiting, no,
You should
I
watch
don't think
that.
so.
One of the main characters in that has a problem with using public urinals, and you know, because he's got this thought that people are just watching him and look at his small dick. Why isn't he peeing? Like it's his like mental image.
Yeah, it's because my dick's so too big, really.
No, that's why most people have problems with those things.
I feel like it. I feel like the sound of the urine coming out is gonna it's gonna be too loud. I don't really don't know what it is though. To be honest, I don't know what my mental problem is, but hey, it's dark and raining. You should come lay in a bed with me.
Well, are you gonna be peeing on me in the process?
But yeah, the prostate thing I bought was like a device specifically for it. It was starts with an A, like ANEAS, maybe
It's
something like
called
that.
the any hole.
um, but like it had all these directions and stuff, and I followed everything to a T, like exactly what it was said to do. And I tried very hard because everyone tells me how this, like everything you read and everything's about, you know, if you orgasm just from a prostate massage alone, not like your
Wait,
prostate's
you
being
keep going
touched.
back and forth between like chopsticks for your pee hole and a prostate massage, so I'm like so confused.
Well, this is a different thing. Like I thought we covered the sounding at this point.
So which device are you talking about? You bought a specific device for a prostate massage?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I was thinking in my mind it was still. Oops.
Because like
Did you use something for a prostate massage? I just clicked the bed and it just like fireworks shot up, and I'm just like, that's perfect time.
like I'd read all these articles about the most amazing orgasm a man could ever have and all this shit. It's all this whole prostate thing. And it's like this is the best device for it. I read like different websites about it and stuff, and all these people just talking about this one specific device. It's like the best one. And it wasn't expensive, it was like $30 or something. So I get this thing and I'm like, all right, fucking let me go have my alone time with my plastic prostate massager and see had this orgasm like I've never experienced in my life. And it didn't happen. I just I don't know what it is. I can't make it happen.
See, I've been with people in my life who have, for one, taken things way too far, but for who have been very experimental enough with me that, like, coming through masturbation to me is enjoyable. Don't get me wrong, but it's way more fulfilling when somebody else is involved. And it doesn't even mean like I'm having sex with them, like just being there, like moaning, stroking, tickling, like something like that. It can be way
Right.
more enjoyable. And that's why when I've had women who have been trying to appropriately do like, I'm gonna like do something back there, like subtly, not like shove a whole thing of anal beads in your ass when you tell me not to, like, you know, that just gets me off so much more. I can't imagine like trying it myself and thinking there was that much more enjoyment in it, because it's almost part of the act of somebody else doing something taboo to me as opposed to me doing something taboo to myself.
Right. I mean, maybe that was part of it. I don't know. Like, I've definitely had like fingers up my butthole like during a blowjob, and like you can tell the difference. You can tell the difference in the orgasm when your prostate is being massaged. Like, so I've experienced that. I've experienced an orgasm that wasn't just the prostate. But
Did it
everything I've
intensify it?
read, what's that?
Did it intensify it though? Or
I
was
feel like it
just like,
intensified the orgasm, but I've also been told by the people that at the time were regularly giving me blowjobs, that the taste of like my pre-cum got grosser when they were touching my prostate, and I don't know how that affects
that's got to
things.
be a mental thing, unless coincidentally every time they touch your prostate, you had like asparagus the day before.
Well, so I do know that there's definitely way more pre-cum. Like if you have something like, for me at least, but I apparently have more pre-cum than I'm supposed to from what I've learned from the internet in the last few years anyways.
Wait,
So I don't know, but like
how much do you have?
we've had to have had this conversation.
No, we've talked about. I always thought the pre cum was super sticky, and you were telling me about how it's really meant to be like a lubrication for a while, which that was
Right. Well,
baffling to
I
me at
have
the
a
time.
lot. Like whenever my dick gets hard, it starts leaking profusely. Like I if my dick is hard, like if I'm like dating someone and we're like messing around on the couch or whatever, and my dick's hard and I'm wearing my pants or whatever, like if it goes more than like 10 minutes, I have to change my underwear because it's too wet.
So you're like the woman equivalent of a oh
Squirter?
my panties are wet because I was thinking about you.
Basically, yeah. Absolutely.
So when you
yeah.
had I used to have the problem when I was in like high school, early college, where I would get these random boners out of nowhere. Back when I wasn't getting some regularly, boners out of nowhere that in inopportune times that are very embarrassing, and you try to like hide them in some way, shape, or form, and you try to like get rid of them. You gotta excuse yourself to the bathroom and kind of like put something in front of you to walk there so nobody sees.
Those aren't the same. Those are different boners.
But once it went away, I was good. When those went away for you finally, did you just have like it looked like you pissed yourself?
No, and that's what makes me know that those kind of boners are different than.
So, and I will admit, I didn't get pre-cum from those either, and I was just curious, like.
Yeah, no, it's not just the act of my dick getting hard makes it start leaking. So like in high school or wherever you hit that puberty, middle school, wherever it is, we hit the puberty moment where your dick's just suddenly like, all right, fucking, what's going on in here? And it comes up like a telescope. Or periscope, I guess would be the correct term. No, I don't have
like a telescope. I guess your dick doesn't go up. Telescope is probably more of a realistic term, right?
Well,
up periscope versus like out telescope,
So as I've gotten older, my dick doesn't like shoot straight up towards my belly button, but like when I was like 15, when my dick got hard, it basically touched my belly button.
Well, I think that's because you're wearing like tight pants and you try to tuck it in behind your belt like that.
No, I'm serious. Like,
I'm serious too. That's what you would do is you'd pull it.
No, naked
again and like.
I didn't wear tight pants ever. I wore JNCOs for crying out loud.
It's the opposite of tight pants.
Right. But no, is that also a fucking just me sort of thing? Well, no, because I've seen other erections that are like kind of straight up. Yeah, but like as I've gotten older, it's not straight up anymore. Now it's kind of points out like a telescope. But it was definitely up like a periscope at one point.
Well, I was gonna say mine were, if I was naked, it wouldn't be straight up in the air. If I was naked, it had an up angle to it, but it was still more out. But once you put on clothes, the clothes kind of pulled it so it went up.
Well, yeah,
because that's where it had to go. If your jeans didn't have enough room,
right,
to just go straight out. But like,
I'm talking naked.
When you were like naked, it was just like up in the air, like it followed your belly up.
I'm naked. Yeah, absolutely. It's pointing straight up. Like if I fucking
was it painful to like put it in an angle that was good for like penetration?
Well, missionary, that is the perfect angle, really.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, I guess I never really thought about that. That up is a much better angle. Like,
I mean, I feel like it's kind of like women that have their breasts sag with age and stuff like that. I feel like, your
dick is sagging now that it's
pointing. It is. It absolutely is. Like it no, it's no longer up periscope. It's out telescope.
This video title. Our new podcast is going to be called Out Telescope.
Yep. Every guest you ask them, so are you still up periscope or out telescope? That's like how you finish off each episode.
That thing where you guys used to always ask each other about sitting or standing. And,
yeah.
It's just up periscope or out telescope. That's just the new terminology.
Well, I think that's a good stopping point for today's episode.
Let's. Put in the comments. Are you up periscope or down telescope or out telescope?
Oh God! All right. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. See ya.